The U.S. administration says the current ceasefire has, quote, terminated hostilities with Iran under Washington's war powers law, amid ongoing debate on whether Congress still needs to approve an extension of military operations in Iran. The clock is ticking towards a legal deadline that may force Washington to halt its military operations against Iran. At the center of this dispute is the 1973 War Powers Resolution. This allows the president 60 days to conduct military action. After that, he must stop, seek approval, or request a 30-day extension from Congress. Iran has activated air defenses, warning of a long and painful response if there are new strikes from Washington. Reuters reports, Tehran believes a short, intense U.S. attack could be imminent, possibly followed by Israeli action. Negotiations between the two sides, that's the U.S. and Iran, have stalled, with no new date set for return to discussions to be mediated by Pakistan. Toni Waterman is covering this story for CNN, and she joins us live from Washington, D.C. Toni, that debate that is still running, whether Congress needs to approve an extension or Donald Trump must halt that war on Iran. Why is there so much back and forth on what should be a very clear legal deadline?
Well, Democrats and legal scholars certainly feel as if there is no ambiguity to the 1973 War Powers Resolution, which clearly states that the president has 60 days to engage in a conflict before he or she has to seek out congressional authorization, ask for a 30-day expansion, or to start withdrawing troops from the conflict. There is no pause button. There is no ceasefire clause in this resolution. So what we heard from the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, on Thursday during his congressional testimony was completely novel in its interpretation of the War Powers Resolution, something that has never been used before. And the White House has made it very clear that it has no intention to seek congressional approval today, which is the deadline for the president. Senior officials saying that for the purposes of the law, the hostilities have been terminated because the U.S. and Iran have not exchanged fire since the ceasefire began on April 7th. Of course, those hostilities have not terminated. Both sides are still engaged in this conflict. You have the U.S. Naval blockade. The Strait of Hormuz is still shut down. But for now, it seems the passing of this deadline is going to have no real effect on that. Congress is now on a one-week recess, so there's going to be no voting on this law, which is really designed to constrain the president's military power. And even some Republicans in the past few weeks have been signaling that they want to assert authority over this war, but that is likely not going to be happening anytime soon.
And that matters, or what matters in Washington. It matters because we are not seeing resolution at the negotiating table. Talks between the U.S. and Iran at this point, anyway, little likelihood of that resuming in an immediate future.
Well, certainly from the outside, it appears as if these negotiations are at an impasse. But President Trump in the Oval Office on Thursday suggested that negotiations are still advancing. He said that no one knows the status of the talks except him and a couple of other people. And there have been many reports that Iran plans to submit a new proposal, a new ceasefire peace proposal on Friday to the Pakistani mediators. In the meantime, President Trump is signaling a possible resumption in military strikes. He also said in this Oval Office comments that he gave on Thursday that we might have to restart the war. And he's been briefed on some of those military options. He really believes, and his administration believes, that these strikes will do the job of pressuring Iran to get back to the negotiating table. But Iran has remained very defiant, saying that it will retaliate if it is struck. So if this fighting resumes, it could further delay talks over Iran's nuclear ambitions, which, of course, is the main sticking point to this entire conflict.
Thanks. Toni Waterman there covering this story for CNN Live from Washington, D.C.